Manideep.
Yeah. Let me access you. Give me access. I think you can share the screen, right?
No, I think, yeah, now I think it's allowed. Yeah, okay. Okay, guys, let me know when you can see the screen.
Yeah, Abhi. Yeah.
Okay, so it is visible, right? So, guys, there are two basic roles in Salesforce, you can say, uh, ecosystem, right? So there is Salesforce admin and Salesforce developer, right? Just basic two. There are more that we can say, like, QA, BA, and other roles also. But basically, technical aspect, if we are considering, there will be two only, right? Admin and developer. Correct. So there is consultant also. So that is kind of, you can say, mixture of admin and expertise in some other clouds also, right? So Salesforce as ecosystem is having some clouds inside it, right? So those are also big clouds, right? So like, if someone is having any expertise on that cloud, right, so they become consultant of that cloud, correct? So it's like, uh, getting into Salesforce, get the technical knowledge, and then get your specifications, your expertise in some of the cloud, and become a consultant, right? That is a part of, you can say, admin and consultation. Okay. The second part would be like Salesforce developer. Salesforce developers are those who are responsible for customization of the platform. So the platform is built like that, you can use the standard functionalities, you can configure that standard functionalities according to your need to an extent, right? But somewhere it is stopping the configuration that Salesforce provides as a standard functionality. It has some limits, right? Like, if you are optimizing the screen, right, optimizing the UI, so you can, right, you can do a lot of things, but on that also you have some limitations, right? Now, if there is a requirement by your client, by your organization, or someone who is using the Salesforce, and you are providing the service, right, and that requirement doesn't fit on the standard configuration, right? And so you need to break that boundary of configuration and go to customization of the platform, right? Then there comes the Salesforce developer. Okay, just an example I'm taking of the UI screen, right? But there can be many more. There can be business logics also. There can be some rules you need to set up for your automations and everything. So that can be there also, but just I'm taking example of UI. Okay, so there comes the developer. They are using the tools given in Salesforce to customize the platform, right? At that time, the standard functionalities, those are given in Salesforce. Those boundaries are being overcome, and the custom solutions are made by Salesforce developer. So those requirements are fulfilled by Salesforce developers, right? They customize the platform, they build the solution out of custom logics, and then they provide the solution. That solution will be inside Salesforce, but it will be custom solution, and Salesforce allows that, right? That's where developers come up. Just now I'm just giving the brief, right? So it's like admin part and developer part. Okay, so we'll be covering it in deep further going on. Okay, we have two, and just I as I told you, developer and admin. So some of the points I have noted down, like in admin, what all will be covering. These are very high level topics. I don't, confuse like only these many topics are there. We have subtopics inside any uh, top level topic. If there is organization setup, right? So in organization level setup, there is a lot, right? You need to set the company information. You need to set the org level security, right? You need to set some of the profiles. Those are, you can say those come with your org only, right? As soon as you set up the org, those profiles are there. So some of those you will be configuring. So there are subtopics inside the top level topics, right? So these are the topics we will be covering when we'll be covering the admin part. Okay, we'll be covering organizational setup. We'll be covering the data security and sharing. We'll be, learning about data modeling and relationship between objects. Right. Schema builder we will be covering. We'll be able to visualize how the relationship between objects look like inside Salesforce. So that's how we'll be able to identify, like, inside all which all the objects are connected and how they are connected. Okay, so that will be seeing in schema builder topic. UI customization in admin part, we'll be seeing how we can customize our UI, how can we put our different components in the lightning pages, right? And how can we modify our record pages so that it fits the user's requirement. Okay. Report and dashboard, we will be covering reports and dashboard creation, scheduling, and automations also, right? Like if we need to deliver reports and dashboards to some concerned person, we'll be automating that also in the org. Okay. Now comes the automation part, flows and approval process. So that we'll be covering also. We'll be doing a lot of automations inside our org, going on in a project that we will be building along with the course. Okay, so there we'll be building flows, a lot of flows, where we'll be practicing about the automations, because right now I think more than 90 or 95% automations are being developed in flows only, but we have more tools than flows in Salesforce. But that's how much Salesforce is promoting flows. So basic focus will be on flows, but we'll be covering our other automation tools also. Just a bit to know about them, like, how they are performing in the organization. Okay, and we'll be covering our execution hierarchy also, like which automations are executed at which time in the execution hierarchy. Okay, so execution order, execution hierarchy, that will be covering also. So these are the basic topics I am telling. It's not like I have covered all. We already have index, we'll be sharing it with you soon. Okay, but these are the top level topics that will be covering inside Salesforce admin. Okay. Those who will be interested in developer course, we will be covering these much topics in developer going further when we'll be finishing the admin part, right? So these are also very much top level topics, but inside those we already have our subtopics, like Apex, the basic backend language that we use in Salesforce, right? This is the, you can say, just first level of customization where we start doing things with our Salesforce platform using Apex. So Apex is the language Salesforce is built on, and you can customize it further also, right? So Apex will be learning to test our code that will be writing in Apex, that will be doing Apex. Okay, we'll be learning about SOQL and SOSL. Those are our database languages inside Salesforce. So when you want to communicate with the data in Salesforce, right? So then it comes.
Abhi, Abhi, I think your screen has stuck. Can you please recheck your screen?
Is it?
Yeah, we are only seeing that Salesforce admin and developer screen.
Oh, okay, okay. Let
Yeah, now
me.
it's coming. Yeah.
I will share again. Not an issue. I think it should be visible, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's coming.
Okay. So in developer, I was talking about SOQL and SOSL. Okay, so SOQL and SOSL, just like SQL, if you might have known, it's SOQL. Same syntaxes are there. A little bit difference is there that will be teaching, and these are the, you can say, languages and syntaxes that we use inside Salesforce to communicate with database. Okay, and then comes triggers and testing triggers. Trigger means this is automation by Apex, right? As you already have the declarative tools. Declarative means point and click. You don't need to code anything. You just point and click. Okay, so that is flows. So as you use flows to automate your business logics, as part of point and click, we have triggers in Apex, right? So we write code to automate our business processes, business logics, whatever is required to automate, right? So flows have some limits, right? But Salesforce is already working to enhance flows so that no one needs to code for any automation, right? But that is kind of, it's not possible to make the flows just like triggers, right? Because triggers are Apex based automations, so they are kind of, you see, don't have any boundaries, right? Only the boundaries they are having are you know uh, governor limits and platform boundaries only, right? Like even it cannot break the whole Apex logic, whole platform logic, right? But apart from that, it is having every capabilities, right? But flows can be restricted at some point, right? So flows are being enhanced to provide more and more functionalities, so that there is no requirement of coding in Salesforce. But uh, at that point, when it comes to some logics, triggers are the heroes. They come to automate the things those are not possible with flows, right? So that's how these are, just you see, automation tools by Apex, using Apex language. Then comes the second part of Apex. Coding is asynchronous, right? So asynchronous Apex is like, you can say, mm, basically used for purpose where you don't need to execute your logic uh, at the same time when you are expecting that. But it's like you can schedule it, right? You can queue it, you can do it later, right? So that kind of approach is handled by asynchronous Apex, right? So that we will be covering also, and we'll be covering integrations with other platform, because as Salesforce is called CRM only, right? But it is not true. Right now, Salesforce has crossed all the boundaries one CRM should be having. Okay, so Salesforce is flexible, that much flexible, it can basically integrate to any other platform, right? And that's how it is being used with by the organizations now. So integration is one of the biggest capabilities Salesforce is having. So that we'll be learning to we'll be covering our integration with some other you can say systems, and with Salesforce one org to another org also, right? So these two integrations we are having, but we might include another integration as a project, to integrate with some kind of AI that we are looking into it as a project. We'll be including it, right? So that will be seeing later. Two or three projects maybe we will be doing in integrations. And then comes LWC, right? LWC is a framework inside Salesforce for front end, right? As we have our Apex in backend, the LWC comes for front end customization. Okay, front end means you have your UI, right? As I already told you, there are limitations to configure your UI, but at some point you need to break that limitations when some requirements come up, like this happens a lot. UI customization is like very frequently asked very frequently asked requirement by the users, because everyone loves the friendly UI, and every organization is having different requirements, right? So at that point, LWC comes to rescue. We design custom solution and provide as a component that is reusable, means you can reuse that component anywhere in the Salesforce. Just like you are putting your standard component in the pages as admin or as developer, you can put your LWC components also. These are called custom components in your pages, and utilize it throughout your org. Okay, and so that much we will be covering in development. As you can say, basic development, I don't think we are leaving anything in that. But if there is something that you know like comes up with as a release, because you already know Salesforce releases 3 times in a year, right? So that will be covering too. Some of the topics we'll be covering in that index too. Okay. And today we will be introducing you about you know introducing you with Salesforce, about cloud computing, about like what is CRM, why these are required in the system, how they came up with that much big market, and what is the scope further, and how industries are being friendly with CRMs and cloud computing. Now those days are gone, right? Everybody was having their own server, their own storages in the organization, somewhere stored as a hardware, right? So how industries are moving from there to having everything on cloud, and someone is maintaining that cloud and providing services, and improving the service, improving the uptime, improving the security time by time, right? So that's how this industry is flourishing, right? Everybody is having trust on their service provider that okay, the uptime will be high, the security will be high, and the cost will be low. So that's how cloud computing is being, you can say, provided to all the consumers, and everyone is able to afford now. Earlier it was like very much expensive, so it was not possible for every industry to go online, put their documents, put their business processes online, and have some automations inside their organizations, because it was very much expensive, right? Now I don't think there is any company those are not using softwares inside the organization, and if they are doing it, they are falling behind in the race, correct? So that's how these industries are developing with time. Okay, so we'll be talking about Salesforce architecture a little bit also, then we'll be going to your logins. Okay, so I am going to explain now the concept of cloud computing, and then we'll be talking about CRM, and we'll be coming to our own Salesforce. Okay. Now, what's cloud computing, right? Cloud
Abhi,
compute. Yeah.
that PowerPoint is not moving forward. Can you check the
Oh,
issue?
is it?
It's stuck at that apex.
Let me share my whole screen. Maybe that is the case. Right. Okay. Now tell me if it is moving money.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is it?
It's coming. Yeah, it's coming.
So
Yeah, it's moving.
that's fine. Na?
Yeah, it's
Now.
yeah, yeah, it's moving. Fine.
Okay. So just couple of slide we have done, guys. Not much. So I was going to start cloud computing only, right? So cloud computing is basically anything you do on cloud, right? Means if any organization is automating their business using some tools, using some logic, or using some software, but they are not having the infra, the servers, the storages, if they're not having in their organization set up by them, serviced by them, maintained by them, right? So that means they are using cloud computing. Okay, so what that means, cloud computing means based on your organization, someone else, some third party is providing you the storage, the servers, security, database, and connectivity, right? Everything they are providing to you, and they are charging you. As organization I'm talking about, you means organization. Okay, so now you don't need to have everything in your organization, don't need to invest on that, don't need to invest on maintenance, don't need to invest on operations, right? Someone else is maintaining that, and you are just paying them and using their services, right? And along with the security. So it's not like if you are using their services, their database, their infrastructure, right? So they can access your data. It's not like that. If it was the case, most of the organizations might have not joined this, you can say, approach, right? So it's like data is already and every time owned by the organizations, but servers, storages, everything is owned by service provider, right? So that's how it works. Cloud computing means those who are using the cloud, means using those services, are not having those infra in their premises. Okay, that basically means cloud computing. You have everything as software, and you are not putting in your infra, you are putting that in some infra that is not there in your organization, someone else is maintaining that. So what's the benefit of that? Benefit means you are spending a lot of money, doing all things. These were not cheap. Let me tell you, it was very very much expensive, and it was not reliable also, right? Putting some servers, putting storage, and hiring guys to maintain that infra, right? Earlier you might have heard, there were a lot of hardware engineers, right? Yeah, every company was requiring that, setting up their infra, and then on top of that they were developing the softwares, right? But it was too expensive, and frequently they were having issues, they were having downtime, right? Because it was little infra, and maintaining that, it was challenge for companies, right? So they, you might have seen, those downtime website is down due to some maintenance and kind of those stuff, right? Those are reducing from time to time. Why? Because these kind of technologies have come up, right? Now what they do, they have their backup servers, they have their, you can say, uh, high quality maintenance, right? So using those, it's very rare now, every any cloud based platform is having downtime. If it is, then it might be very big issue, right? So that's how services are being improved using cloud computing, right? So that is the whole idea. Means you don't have to have everything in your organization set up as hardware. Now you can use cloud computing, right? There are cloud service provider, will be showing you later, right? That's how architecture works, right? You also call it client server architecture. Okay, cloud computing means client server architecture. Same thing is mentioned here, like you have your communication with the database, with the server, but you don't actually have that in your organization, right? So this is how it is designed. You put everything, your program, your application in that cloud, right? Same thing, it is explained like, there is a user you see, right? But user is only interacting with the, service providers infra. Now they don't have this all infra in their organization, but they are interacting with that infra, and they are putting their logics there, they are putting the programs there, right? And they are interacting with it with secure communication. Means what they can access only, other people cannot interact with their data, right? So that is the security part. It's more crucial. Otherwise, none of the organization might have been ready for using this common infra, right? Now if I say common infra, means how the cost has been received reduced, right? The cost has been reduced. Like earlier what was happening, every organization was setting up their own infra, right? So it was very huge investment, right? Now what is happening as part of cloud computing, the service provider is having a big infra, right? Now many organizations are sharing that infra, right? Now automatically, if someone is using the same resources, right, and they are sharing their resources, the cost will be reduced automatically, right? That was the biggest leap in the technology, I would say. Because earlier the cost was basic, you can say, factor that drive that have driven this, you can say, cloud based approach, right? Because cost has reduced so much. Now every small organization is able to, you can say, use this cloud computing and have their, logics and everything automated, right, inside the organization. But earlier it was not the case, right? So that was the main cause. So how sharing happens? Sharing happens means, like, consider if you are database, you already know, right? You have a big database, and you are using that much, everyone is using that much, you purchase, data base, you purchase storage, right? So that is pretty much easy to understand. But it when it comes up to server, right, it is a little bit complex, right? If you are, interacting with the server, you are using with the server, that time you are utilizing it, right? But as soon as you are not actively communicating with the server, at that time server is idle, right? Now it is not being utilized, correct? CPU is, you can say, if you are using your computer, at that time your CPU is CPU is consumed, right? Your RAM is consumed, your CPU is consumed, right? But as soon as you are not putting any logic, right, you are not making it calculate something, at that time it is free, correct? So now it is free to be utilized by some other organization, some other users, right? That's how it is used. And that's how Salesforce also optimizes this kind of approach here, right? So this kind of approach is, you can say, um, uh, organized in such a way that there is no service interruption whenever you require your server, it is available for you. But if you are not required your server, it is being utilized by some other organization, right? So that's how sharing happens, and that's how your cost reduces, right? So that is the concept till here, how cloud computing works, right? Now how it reduces cost, right, of the infra, of the, you can say, that expenditure that everybody was having earlier as setting up the infra. So that is the idea, going from infra based, you can say, architecture to client based architecture, right? That is called cloud computing. Okay. Same thing here, it is elaborated a little bit. If you see, you know there is infrastructure hardware layer, right? Then you have your platform. Platform is something like, uh, it is the base, right? It is kind of a field where you build everything, right? Your applications, your logics, everything you build on the platform, right? And that is based, platforms are basically connected to infrastructure, right? Now if you want to communicate with the infrastructure, you want to communicate with the storage, if you want to compute something, you want to be, you want your logic to be calculated, to be executed, then you need to go through the platform to the infrastructure. And the UI you will be getting, the logics where you will be providing, will be the application layer. Okay. So that's how the architecture is defined. You have your infra, you have your platform. On top of that, you have some application that uses the platform to communicate with the infra. That's how whole thing works, right? Through and pro, and every time you are just having your application that lies over your platform, and that interacts with the infrastructure, right? And you give your input in the application, it passes the logic, passes the command through your platform to the infrastructure. And if it is getting computed, getting sorted out what logic you have provided, and then it returns through the platform, the returns the result to the platform, and in application it shows you the result, right? That's how the whole communication happens inside organization. When it was like infra was being maintained in the organization itself, this was the same approach. But now what is happening, the platform and infra was there at client side. Now you have your application, you have your business logics, put it over the cloud, and then it starts communication with the platform and infra. That is the whole concept of cloud computing. Now this is the difference I was talking about, right? Same points are mentioned here. What is the difference? Sorry, what is the difference, hardware based approach, and between hardware based approach and cloud computing, right? Same points are there. Those were in house, maintained by hired person by the organization, so it was huge investment and everything. So same points are mentioned here, right? Now, you see some of the point we have mentioned here. Those are, you can say, basic difference in cloud computing and premises service. On-premises service means those, infra, those were, configured and maintained at the organization level on the premises, right? I was talking about the older approach. Okay. Now, you have your scalability, means now if, as I already told you, right, it is shared resources, right? If you want to use it, if you don't want to don't use it, right? Pay for that much only. And if you are not using it, it is available to be used by someone else, right? That is the power of cloud computing. As I already told you, right, if you are not using the resources, you are not using the servers, you are not using the space, that is available to be used by someone else. Okay. So that's how scalability comes up. Scalability means you can increase your utilization, you can decrease your utilization based on your you can say requirement, right? Earlier it was not like that. It was like, if you are increasing your capability, if you are using increasing the storage, increasing the server limit, right? So then you need to invest a lot. Now if you already have invested a lot and you need to reduce your you can say capabilities, right? Then it was also an investment, right? So that's how tough it was earlier, but now it is just like monthly subscriptions. You can just reduce your licenses, reduce your you can say utilization, increase your utilization based on you can say licenses or some other payment methods and everything, right? So that's how easy it is right now to scale your you can say requirement, right? You can utilize more and less based on your requirement. It is very much possible. So now it is cost efficient also, right? Now space and server where a lot of hardware were there, and there were a lot of you can say people to manage that server and space and everything. Now it is not required by an organization, right? Now everything is on cloud. Someone is providing it for you. Okay, you just need to have logins, you need to have your licenses, instance and everything. You start using it, right? Cost, I already told you how cost got reduced, right? Now you just need to have you can say licenses, start using it, right? And just optimize things according to that software, right? Manpower was required. Now there is no manpower. You just communicate with the service provider, start using it, right? Now it is that much easy. Security, earlier it was like someone hacked the you can say server and got your data out, right? It was happening a lot earlier. Now it is not happening because those service provider are utilize those are doing R&D, research and development for securing your data. Every time they are investing hugely on that, right? But as small organizations it was not possible early, right? And they were hardly able to manage their server up and running, right? But right now it is not the case, right? Big companies are providing the cloud based services. Now they are hiring good persons to do research and development for the security. Now it's very hard to listen nowadays. Some website is being hacked and everything, right? How? Because of this only, the cloud computing, right? So cloud based technologies are very secure right now to you know to be hacked or something like that. So they are investing a lot, right? As big companies they can invest, but when every company was having their own infra, it was not possible for them to invest that much on security, right? So they can cope up with the modern hackers, modern you can say approaches of breaching the your security. So that is possible with those big companies, right? Flexibility, you don't have the flexibility. Once your server is up and running, then you need to have that there. You cannot afford the downtime and everything, right? Now you can have your flexibility with the cloud. If you are not liking one service, you can move to another, right? Everyone is running up and you can say ready to be used every time. So that's how flexibility you already have, right? Updates, it was very hard for getting updates in your older approach on premises services, because uh, you were required a lot of people, right? A lot of software team to just get your software updated, right? That kind of approach was present earlier. Now uh, in this approach, cloud computing, they already have one team that is already working on the software updates, right? They have one team who is managing the hardwares, right? So that kind of investment model they are having, because they don't need to invest that much on the hardware, right? So they can invest on the software updates also. So you as an organization, you already getting updates time by time, right? And they are working for you. So that's how easy to get updates based on new approaches, based on new technologies. Those are coming up in the market, right? So it's easy to cope up with, right? Now if you understand the AI is coming, right? Now if consider if it was an older approach, everybody was having their own servers and everything. So was it possible for everyone to just utilize that AI that much easily when they were having old engineers in their system, right? But now what is happening with cloud computing? They are already starting utilization of AI inside their software, right? Salesforce is also utilizing the AI inside Salesforce orgs, right? How they are doing it? Because they are already into it. They are already researching and developing it. They are already having engineers. Those are doing this work in automation, in orgs and in Salesforce software as AI. You can say research AI embeddings, right? So they are utilizing AI capabilities in the Salesforce automatically in the cloud computing, other cloud platforms also. So they are already doing it because they have that much bandwidth in terms of cost, in terms of manpower and everything. But if it was the older approach, it was merely possible. Okay. Uh, Okay, one thing was there also data access, right? So many organizations were having restrictions like if you are in the organization where the servers are set up, there only you can access your data, and as soon as you are out of the organization, you cannot because of many reasons, right? So they were wire based, and they were having wire based connectivity, or they were having data concerns, security concerns, right? So someone else cannot access the data, so those kind of restrictions were there, right? But now you don't have those issues. As soon as you are having access to the internet, you can access your data anywhere, right? Okay, time, or you already know, right? If you are going to implement and set up the whole hardware, on top of that your software, it's not easy task, right? So that it consumes time also, right? Now in cloud computing, I already told you, right, the service is already there. You just need to get a subscription, right, and start using it. It's that much easy, right? So these are basic differences in the older approach and while you are using the cloud computing, the newer approach, right? So some of the organizations are still using that because they are having huge investment, but most of those, I would say, I'm not confirm about the percentage, but most of those are is starting using the cloud computing, right? So it's like new organizations or new companies are nowhere going to use the hardware approach. They are already using the cloud computing, but most of the older companies, those big companies, were having the hardwares, right? So they are also migrating to cloud computing. Okay. Now, what is the model of cloud computing? So cloud computing is like bigger cloud, right? Inside that, we are having two models: development model, sorry, deployment models and service models. Okay. So our sales force lies on service models, but I will be explaining the deployment models also, just to give you a brief so that you can uh, you know uh, take a structure into your mind how this all are built, right? So inside cloud computing, you have deployment and service models, right? So inside service models, you have your Salesforce, where you have, we'll be telling you later. Okay. So now quickly we'll be seeing the deployment model. So these many clouds deployment model is having, right? Public, private, community, and hybrid. So just basic difference is there. You can see public cloud is like, you are having a infrastructure that is public, and it is owned by cloud provider. I already told you, right? That is approach there, and you can just put everything you have as software layer, application layer into that cloud, right? So then you can interact with the infra. I already told you, right? So now this kind of services are provided by AWS, Azure, IBM clouds, and cloud also, right? So these are you have your application layer, put it there and communicate with the server, communicate with the database, start using it, right? That's deployment model, and it's public, it's shared by everyone, right? These are benefits of public cloud, because it is being used by more than one party, so it is cheap. Now you don't need to set up any hardware or infrastructure management. Okay. Private cloud means it's little bit, you can say, costlier than public, but yeah, the approach is same. You These are the service provider you have, they will be providing you instance and everything. You put your application layer there and start communicating with the infrastructure, but privately. You are, you can say, just kind of reservation. You have your private cloud, that much cloud only you will be using, so it's little bit safe or secure, so some companies prefer that also. You have your data privacy security as perks of private cloud. Okay. Community cloud, it's kind of public, but for a community, right? Community means it's public for not all, but some of the people, some of the, you can say, parties, right? So those are defined parties. Like if four of the companies are using some cloud, so this is community cloud. So there should be a community that includes four of the service provider and the infra that you are sharing with four companies only. So that is called community cloud. That kind of approach is called community cloud. That is same things. Cost is varying only, right? And you already have your stakeholders with you to share that platform. Okay, so that way cost goes down. Okay. Hybrid cloud, it is the, you can say, combination of public and private, right? So some of the functionalities you have as public, and some of the functionalities or infra you have as a private, right? Now you call it hybrid, so that approach is there also, right? So simple thing, those are the benefits. Also flexibility, you anytime you decide something to go public, right? So you can make it public, and if you want to have that as a private, you can have it in private. It's kind of a perk of hybrid cloud. Now come to service model, right? That was deployment model, where you pick your whole application, put it on the cloud, and start communicating with the servers, and start communicating with the database, with the infrastructure layer. Okay. Now in service model, there are four types of services: IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, and FaaS. So the full form is written right there, right? Infrastructure as a service. Someone raise the hand, or
It's okay, Abhi.
okay. So IaaS means infrastructure as a service, right? Platform as a service, software as a service, and functions as a service. Now, in service model, IaaS means infra you are getting as a service, right? Infrastructure as a service. Infra means servers, database, and everything. You already have some idea, I think, till this point. So that is being provided as a service. If it use, so then it is IaaS, right? Platform as a service means you have some service providers having their infra, and they are having some platform, right? Then it is called PaaS. So they are providing you some platform where you can build your software and communicate with the infrastructure. I already shown you, right, how this communicates. There is infra, sorry, there is infra, then platform, and then application, right? So that's how it is going on. That same hierarchy also. You have infra, you have your platform, right? And that will be communicating with the infra. Now if someone is providing pass, then pass means platform as a service, then you can have your application deployed there in the platform, built by their rules, and communicate with the infra, right? Then it will be called a platform as a service, and you will be having your software. Now in the next step, if some service provider is providing you the software also, right? Software as a service, your software also, that is having their platform, and it is already interacting with the infra, right? Then it is called a SAS. Now, Salesforce is a SAS service. Okay. Here comes your Salesforce. Now, inside cloud computing, inside service model, there is SaaS. Okay. So there comes the Salesforce. It is Salesforce. It is not Salesforce. Salesforce lies under this category, SaaS. Salesforce is a SaaS product. Okay. Now, fourth thing is functions as a service. Functions means it is not full-fledged software, but some small softwares, those comes in the utilization, right? So that we are not very much concerned about, but basically these four services are there, right? So now, here in case of Salesforce, infrastructure is being provided, platform is being provided, and software is being provided. So infrastructure is hardware is being provided by the company that is named as Salesforce only, right? Company name also is Salesforce that provide you infrastructure, right? Platform is called force.com. Your Salesforce software is built upon the force.com platform, right? So force.com is a PaaS and Salesforce software is a SaaS, correct? So your Salesforce software is SaaS service. Now your Salesforce is built on force.com, right? So the force.com is called platform as a service, right? So that's how your Salesforce is utilizing all three in these three, you can say services and providing as a service provider and being consumed by the organization, right? In Salesforce company is providing infra, and the platform force.com is being provided at that platform. On that platform, the Salesforce software is has been built, where we customize it, and we build a small application, everything inside that Salesforce instance or Salesforce software. In big inside bigger software, we produce our little softwares. Okay, so that's how you come up to SaaS. Okay, this is the whole model. So someone asks you what is Salesforce, right? So then Salesforce is a SaaS product, right? It's a software, it's a SaaS product, and it's built on post.com, that is a platform, right? And infra is being provided by Salesforce company itself, right? So that's the definition. So till here, the whole structure has been, you can say, elaborated just for the cause, so that you can understand what is Salesforce. Salesforce is a SaaS product, right? Now, we'll be going forward a little bit. Same thing I already told you, right? Hardware as a service or infra as a service. You get uh, your servers, you get your storage, which is being provided by third party. Okay, and these are some of the service provider you see, right? AWS you might have already known, right? Azure you might have already known. Google Computing Engine you already might have known, right? So these are service provider; those are providing infra as a service, right? Now, other companies are using their IaaS to go further and provide maybe PaaS service, maybe SaaS service, right? So these are some of the infra providers. Platform as service, same thing. Platform is something that communicates with the server, that communicates with the database, right? So that is platform layer. So our force.com is a platform, right? If you comes to Salesforce ecosystem, force.com is a platform, correct? And that communicates with the infrastructure. And third, you will be having SaaS. Okay, SaaS is software that has been built on the platform, and that will provide you UI, your screen, your you can say visibility of the logics, visibility of data and everything, right? So that will come up under the SaaS, and that will use the platform to communicate with the infrastructure. That's how your whole cycle will be completed. Okay, so your software will be communicating with the infra using platform, and that's how your logic will be executed using servers, and your data will be accessed by the database. Okay. So these are some of the SaaS services. There are a lot of I think I cannot even count lot of services as SaaS service, but here lies our Salesforce, right? So Salesforce is a SaaS product, right? You might have heard of Microsoft Office 365. That's also a SaaS. Any software that you provide as a service to someone, right, is called a SaaS. It can be very small or it can be very big, like Salesforce.com also, right? Even if you install a software in your phone, right, Android or iOS, then also it becomes as a SaaS, software as a service. That's how the whole logic works. Okay. Function as service. Function as service means it's not, you can say, full-fledged applications, but yeah, it is some kind of microservices. You see, microservices means it is utilized to communicate, transport your logics from here to there, communicate with one system to another system. So that kind of services falls under functions as service. So they are not, you can say, big softwares, but kind of microservices. Those are utilized to kind of deployment. And deployment, you have like, you if you are moving your logic from here to there, in from one platform to another platform, right, then these kind of services are being utilized. So this is called pass. Advantages I might have covered already, but here you see in your screen, later you'll be getting it, so you can have a look on that also, right? Cost saving, already told you. Flexibility, 24/7 availability, reliability. You don't need to uh, worried about your data security and everything, right? Software update, backup, and restore. You get very much flexibility on that, right? So these are the benefits you get to get to, you can say, as a perks using of cloud computing. Okay. These are some of the top cloud service provider, right? So it's SAP. You already might have idea about SAP, IBM Cloud, Google Cloud, Salesforce, Oracle, VMware, Amazon, right? So these are already very big companies, right? You might have known already. So that's how my point comes up, right? Like they are able to invest hugely behind the service and behind the security and behind software upgrades and coping up with the new technologies time to time, right? Now, what is CRM? So as you might have known, like it's called CRM. The Salesforce is called CRM, right? So what is CRM? CRM, where the you can say, theory came up, like, earlier, if you were having your clients and you were having your customers, right? So there has to be some database that should be maintained, like, clients, you can say, email addresses, clients contact details, clients requirements, or some kind of data management was required there, right? But there were no streamlined services there to do that, right? Then there comes up the CRM, means customer relationship management. Okay. Now you need to maintain the data over software about your clients, right, about your customers. Okay. Now, uh, basically that was the purpose of CRM, right? Now, your client can be an organization, an individual, or any, you can say, any other service provider also, right? So that kind of bandwidth any customer can have, right? It can be named under the customer, but it can be anyone, right? So to maintain everything, onto the software, the CRM approach was there. Okay. Why CRM was required? For these many reasons. Earlier, the data was unorganized, right? So manually they were having their data. It was not reliable, right? So someone is having different data, someone is having different data, right? If you want to schedule, some events with your clients, with your customer, right? But it was manual, right? and there were many mishaps, right? If someone is missing the event, someone is not getting invited, someone is, so those were very hectic, you can say processes there. Why? Because slowly the, you can say, base was increasing. Means if any organization was having earlier 100 clients, right, now they are having 10,000, right, then it was not very much easy for them to manage the, you can say, data of those clients in the way they were handling, the data of 100 clients. Now they are having 10,000, right? So there was some, need to manage that data smartly by someone who can do the calculations very smartly. That is software, correct? So that's when CRM approach came up. Like, everything should be automated, everything should be, you can say, organized and unanimous, right? If someone is having same email ID of the client, it should be, oh, known to whole org as same. It should not be like someone is having different, someone is having different. So that kind of data unanimous, you can say, approach was there with CRM. No client communication record was there earlier, right? If someone is talking on phone, so it was not like, they were logging it every time. Okay, I talked to the client at this time about this time and this time, right? They were just preparing a little MOM and giving it to them, right? So that was not a proper record of communication with client and what happened on that complete communication, right? So that was also overcome by CRM approach. And to do task means if you communicate with client and you have some task to do according to that communication, right? So those all were manual, right? Someone was maintaining on their diary, right? So it was not reliable. So that was also automated using CRMs, right? So that's how CRM approach came up, right? These are features. So those you have seen as problems in the older approach, right? When CRM was not there, those all have been, you can say, mitigated using CRM, right? And CRMs are basically, now CRMs are evolving, but basically, initially Salesforce was a CRM, right? So it was used for that purpose only, maintaining their customer, you can say, database, communicating with them, automating some of the stuff, right? That should be lying as a business logics, right? Every time if you are getting something, you need to execute something, right? So that kind of approach was there. So that's called automation, right? So that was there. Your lead management was there, your analytics was there. If you are having data in your org, right, you need to analyze, okay, what kind of data we are having, right? So if you are having a lot of clients, you need to segregate those clients based on some criteria, right? Then you come to the analytics part. You need to have some kind of reports prepared, dashboard prepared. They must be showing some numbers. Okay, that much clients are filing on that category and that much clients and customers are falling on that much in that category, right? So that kind of analytics is there. Those are being handled by the CRM software only, right? So this kind of approach is there. Lead management is there. Means, if you get any lead as a customer, then you nourish that lead and you get it to convert it into opportunity, then finally close it, right? Close the deal. So that's how, everything, your journey from creating lead to creating a, you can say, closed opportunity, and there is a journey and everything is handled by CRM only. So that's called a cycle. You just create a lead, from campaign you create a lead, and then you convert it to opportunity, and then finally close it. Work, obviously a lot of people will be working on that, but that will be the whole cycle that will be maintained over your CRM. In Salesforce also that approach is there. Okay. Popular CRMs are there: Salesforce, Zoho, HubSpot, Monday.com. These Microsoft Dynamics, this you might have heard, but let me tell you, Salesforce is on top of that, right? So like, I'm not sure, but mostly around 80% or more companies are using Salesforce as a CRM, right? And so Salesforce is the biggest platform also among all, and it's kind of Salesforce, a kind of leader in CRM industry right now. most of people are not calling it only CRM because that has gone beyond the CRM limits, right? But still, it was built as a CRM, so it is known as a CRM, right? So that's the market scenario of Salesforce, right? And these kind of CRMs are there, right? Operational CRM, analytical CRM, and collaborative CRM, right? So operational means just I already shown you, right? Just some cycles you need to complete within the CRM, right? But yeah, uh, this kind of operational CRM capabilities, most of the CRMs are having, right? Analytical, you need to analyze your data, you need to see what kind of data you are having, right, inside your org and inside your instance, right? Collaborative means you need to have some interface where your organization people and other people also can collaborate and work, right? So all these three, you can say, CRM capabilities Salesforce is having, right? Salesforce is having the operational capability. You can work inside the org on your records, on your leads and everything. You can analyze the data, existing data, and you can collaborate using community sites, right? So that capability Salesforce is already having, right? So all three, you can say, capabilities Salesforce possesses. This is a little history of Salesforce. In 1999, it was founded by Mark Benioff, right? So Mark Benioff was earlier in Oracle, you might have known, and later he invented Salesforce, right? And now Salesforce is used by that much companies, 82,000 basically, and these are the headquarters. Basic need, you just find out, Google it, find out about the Salesforce, you'll be getting the idea, right? So I would encourage you guys to just little bit Google about Salesforce, and now you have a little bit idea what it is, right? It's a cloud computing technology. It's a service based model, and it's a SaaS product, right? You have the basic knowledge, just a little bit Google, and you'll be getting more information, right? Don't get confused. Don't get the too much information so that you are not confused, right? We'll be moving a little bit further every day. You see, I already told you Salesforce is a SaaS that is built on platform that is called post.com. Okay. These are the points just to be mentioned, but I already told you what are the capabilities of Salesforce as a SaaS product, right? These are the features. Setup, it's very easy. You just purchase the instance, purchase the licenses, and start using it, right? Interface is so much easy and so much user friendly. Let me tell you guys, in Salesforce, why Salesforce is that much popular? Just because of their simplicity, right? So organizations don't like complex software, right? Because people those are using the softwares, right, uh, are not that much into the softwares, right? They are proficient in some other work, but just to ease their work, softwares are required. So they need very user friendly UI. So Salesforce is winning on that, right? So that's how it is too much user friendly. Not too much. It cannot be too much, but yeah, it is that much user friendly that it's very much recommended by every organization, and they are happy to use it, right? Customizable. It's like having very much flexibility in the UI, right? Flexibility in the logics, flexibility in the, you can say, storage and everything, right? So it's very much customizable.
Yeah.
You can say power of Salesforce, right? If I said two powers that basically are, you can say, Salesforce's top one, right? So that will be the user interface, user friendly user interface. Second will be their customizable capabilities, right? Now, intelligent automations, we have tools for automating all the, you can say, processes inside Salesforce, right? So that will be learning later. So that is one of the capability. And process builder, you can build some process and execute in such a way that it will be uh, having a layer every time you are going to build, you are creating record, you are building record, it will be executed every time, right? So that logic will be lying forever if you want, right? And you can enhance it later, you can remove it later, kind of flexibility we have. Lead nurturing, it's the typical sales cloud process. You just generate a lead and you nurture it till it is closed, right? So that standard process is there also with Salesforce. You have your dashboards, you have dynamicity, right? Like you can have your dashboard based on someone's you can say user metrics, right? If someone is having the access to see the records, it will be appearing in the dashboard. If someone is not having the you can say access, they will not be seeing it, right? And the dashboards will be dynamic, means it will be showing the user persona. Means if I am having some access as a user in the Salesforce, I will be seeing my persona. But if someone else is having their access level, they will be having their visibility of same dashboard, right? So that's called dynamicity, but we'll be going in deep later, right? You can use campaign for running your ads into other platforms, under social media, other websites, and there you can generate your leads, and you can do campaigns by automation in Salesforce, right? So the campaign should not be those ads should not be manually intervened by the user, but automated. So like mass mailing, like Facebook ads, like Instagram ads, those are automated inside Salesforce, right? So you can just automate and schedule it, or just automate it, like when this will be happening, your ads will be going out, right? So that kind of condition, that kind of logic you can put there, and it will be published based on that logic. That kind of capability Salesforce is having. Collaboration, you can have your community site, right? The site will be like it's free for all. You can collect the information, you can collect the you can say, if anything is required to be collaborated with the people, right? You can have your community site that will be just like a website, right? And it will be interacting with your Salesforce data. What data you want to capture from that website, you will be capturing it. Otherwise, if it's not required, and there's no requirement to capture it. So Salesforce provide you functionality to create your own website and already hosted in the Salesforce server, and you can just uh, make it live, right? With, if you already have a Salesforce instance, that will also be seeing a little bit of uh, you can say concept going forward, right? Email integration, you can integrate your current calendars, schedules, and everything with Salesforce very easily. Those are basically provided standardly in Salesforce, so you don't need to do the custom development for that, right? So that they can be integrated very easily by just point and click. There is no code required for that, right? So these are the main features, main power Salesforce is having. Okay. And these are company basically using the Salesforce, and you can just find out, Google it, you'll be finding out, right? Future scope, Salesforce will be growing from 80 to 85% in 2025. That's how the statics looks like. So you just explore a little bit market of Salesforce, how much market is already capturing and how much it will be capturing in 2025. Okay. These are the roles. I already told you, right? There are more roles apart from developer and administrator, but these are the other roles as Salesforce ecosystem is having, right? We'll be providing you slides, guys. Don't worry about it. You can read it out. I'm just, I already told you whatever is being shown in the slide now. Okay. Certifications, going forward, as soon as you'll be learning the platform, learning the Salesforce technology, you will be getting some certifications. Those are provided by Salesforce company itself. You will be having some examination. They will be providing you certification for that. So that will be recognized by every organization. Okay, now if someone is certified in administrator, so they will be knowing the administrator stuff. For same for developer, architect, and every other thing, right? Every other scenario. A lot of certifications are there. You just don't need to have it all, but basic certification you will be having when you will be opting for the job. Okay. We'll be starting with the Salesforce and with the account sign up. I think we are running out of time, money, right? So maybe what you will be doing, I will be providing you a little bit URL, right? So you just need to go to Google and type it here, Salesforce free dev org. Okay, and you just click here. Correct? No, not this one. This one. Okay, so this link I am providing you guys, it's already there in slide, but anyway, I am providing you in the chat. Money, if you have any group or something, just pass it over, okay? And do one thing, guys. Just if you see the screen, you fill out this information, put up your name, email address, your role as a developer. For now, you just put it developer, okay? Company name, anything, not like you need to put a real company, right? Sorry. You just need and learning kind of thing, learning, and then you put your country as India, okay, and your postal code anywhere. It's not like mandatory to put wherever you are, but yeah, put your postal code, pick any unique username, agree, and sign me up. Click it, and whatever email address you will be putting, right, you will be getting one link there, right, to reset your password. You click on that link and it will be opening up in a new window, right? And you there you put your new password. And as soon as you'll be putting your new password, you'll be logged into Salesforce. So that is the task for now, guys. You just need to go to this link and sign you up and create your Salesforce free org. Later, we'll be, you can say, moving forward. If someone is not able to do it, not an issue. We'll be starting the first thing tomorrow as a login in the Salesforce developer org. Okay, who will be able to log in? That will be much better, I think. But yeah, that's very simple process. Put your information, sign me up, and wait for it might take up, don't do again, it might take up 5 minutes or 6 minutes based on the utilization. So you'll be getting eventually one mail, and you click on that link, reset your password, and get your credentials stored somewhere, right? Password, username, and password. Later tomorrow we'll be starting from there. Okay, if someone is having any questions, you can raise your hand and ask it.
Yeah, guys. So if you got any questions, please do raise so that we'll provide the solutions. And as Abhi told, like you guys can sign up the org with the link that we provided in the chart, right? So if you guys have any queries, please do reach out to me so that we'll resolve the issues. And from next session, we'll be starting working on the Salesforce instance, and we'll be going through object creation, all those stuff, right? And please do reach out to me if you got any questions or queries. We'll disconnect and talk about that. All right, guys. So we already has to do with our projects, and we'll be winding up this session. Thanks, guys.
Hello, Mani.
Yeah, Rasmi. Yeah,
That URL you can send me WhatsApp only. I'm not
sure,
free
sure.
here.
Yeah. I will
Okay,
share the link to you guys.
okay. You can send me the link and I'll do the sign up now.
Yep. Right.
Okay.
All right, guys. See you on next session. Thank you. Thanks for joining.
Okay, while signing up, you guys are having any questions, just bundle it up as soon as we join.